Greetings to our lecturer and our fellow friends. Today we are going to present on augmented reality and virtual reality. Augmented reality (AR), also known as mixed reality (MR), is a technology that overlays real-time 3D rendered computer graphics onto a portion of the real world through a display. AR alters one's ongoing perception of the real-world environment. Virtual reality (VR) is a simulated experience that utilizes 3D near-eye displays and pose tracking to provide the user with an immersive experience of a virtual world. It is widely applied in different fields and realized in different methods such as using a head-mounted display. Here is a table on the differences between augmented reality and virtual reality. The biggest differences are AR enhances real-world experience with digital objects, while users interact only within the simulated environment for VR. Besides that, AR is often more affordable as it can be run on smartphones, while VR is usually more expensive as it needs specialized VR hardware.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, my name is Elisya Binti Muhamad Ruzmi from Group 5. So today I'll be presenting about example of augmented reality and virtual reality. First of all, augmented reality and virtual reality are modern technologies that are now part of many areas of life, including education, entertainment, healthcare and navigation. AR works by adding digital elements to the real world, while VR replaces the real world with a fully digital environment. Examples of these technologies can be seen in games, learning tools, travel applications, and daily utilities. AR is often used to enhance real-world experience by providing extra information or interactive features, while VR focuses on creating new and immersive experiences that allow people to explore different environments. For games, Pokemon Go is one of the most popular applications of augmented reality. It allows players to catch virtual Pokemon creatures that appear in real-world location. Using the smartphone cameras and GPS, the game overlays digital character onto street, parks, and even inside homes. Pokemon Go shows how AR can combine the digital world with the physical world, creating a fun and unique experience that feels realistic while still being imaginative. Next, VR games use virtual reality technology to place players inside a completely digital environment. By wearing a VR headset, players are fully immersed in the game world, where they can look around in 360 degrees, move, and interact with objects as if they were there. VR games create a sense of presence and realism to people. For navigation, Google Maps Live View is an AR feature that helps people navigate more easily. It uses the smartphone camera to display the real street in front of the user. This makes the navigation more accurate and easier to understand. Google Maps Live View shows how AR can enhance daily life by combining real surrounding with digital information. Google Earth VR is a virtual reality application that allows users to explore the world from anywhere. By wearing a VR headset, people can fly over cities, mountains, and oceans as if they are there. The experience is completely digital, and the user will feel fully immersed in a 3D version of Earth. They can zoom out to see the planet from space or dive in close to walk through streets. Google Earth VR shows how VR can create a powerful sense of presence and exploration without leaving home.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Qaisara Batrisyia binti Muhamad from the H1 HD2. I am the group 5 members and I'll be presenting about the study case of augmented reality AR and virtual reality VR. Study case number 1, which is the surgical training. So surgeons require extensive hands-on training, but cadavers nowadays seemingly very cost and limited to find all over the world. So surgeons often face obstacles of the limited exposure to complex surgery. With implementing of the VR surgical simulators, it has allowed students to practice in a stress-free environment, while the AR overlays help visualize organs during the anatomy lessons. Moving on to the study case number 2, which is the visual classroom. So as we know, traditional way of teaching, it is lack of interaction and engagement, and this has led to feel of burnout in the student nowadays. So why does this happen? Because students struggle to visualize abstract concepts. They can't perfectly picture the concept in their mind because they can see what's going on in the real world. By installing the VR classroom, it has enabled students to explore anatomy, especially in subjects like biology, and goes to planet system like subjects in astronomy. So it has gained better memory retention, and it can help the students to memorize it better, higher engagement in classroom because all students will participate actively in the classroom. Moving on to the study case number 3, which is the IKEA place. Often, when we go to the IKEA, we can't picture the furniture that we want to buy in our space at our house, right? So how does IKEA cope with this problem, which is high rate of product returns due to the mismatch in size, color, or styles? So IKEA has invented this one app called the IKEA Plus app. It allows the user to place the 3D models of furniture just by using their camera on their phone. So it has improved customer confidence to buy their product, reduced return, and also boosted sales. Lastly, study case number 4, which is the visual travel. So travel restriction and high costs limit global tourism opportunities to various of places. For example, during the pandemic COVID-19, we can't go to certain places because the virus itself, right? So the problem here is people cannot always physically visit destinations. So the implementations of this problem is tourism boards created VR tours of famous sites. So we can go and explore the destination that we want just by using the VR headset.
Hi everyone, so now we'll be speaking more on the pros and cons of augmented and virtual reality. So this is an overview on how the next slides are going to be like. So just a short brief, AR adding a digital layer onto the real world, and virtual reality is you're fully submerged in it, in the virtual world. And the pros are, generally speaking, it demonstrates versatility. That means it doesn't have one sole purpose. You can do a lot of things with this type of technology. And speaking of the cons, obviously it affects accessibility, usability, and long-term adoption if you don't use it wisely in perspectives such as the human health, social interactions, and ethical considerations. Due to this imbalance, it raises a lot of questions amongst us. So now specifically speaking on the pros and cons of the augmented reality. So the pros are it enhances learning and education. It overlays interactive 3D models and animations such as the heart structure from the 3D model digitalized version. You get to understand the heart structure so much better. Next, the real-time assistance. You use headsets to get step-by-step guidance like in fields like the medical field or the aviation, used in aviation as well. Next, improve shopping and customer experience. Like IKEA, they provide this e-commerce platform that allows us to see the furniture in different angles. Accessibility and mobility, you don't need any special equipment. AR is so much more easy compared to VR. You get to use tablets and laptops in order to get access to it. Next, integration of digital with physical world. It enhances the real world. You get to interact with the real and the virtual world in a balanced way. Cons, high cost of development compared to VR. It's not as costly, but it is still costly. Privacy and security risk. You give permissions to apps and websites you don't really know much about, which cause your security to be in a risky level. Next, hardware limitations depends on device processing power, like your battery can get overheated or affected, which affects the efficiency of your battery. Next, distraction and safety hazards, you're actively engaging in it, which can cause a lot of dangerous things to happen, like accidents. Next, health concerns, focusing on both digital and objects simultaneously, which affects your health, like sitting in a prolonged time can affect your blood circulation and your eye can make your eye strained. Next, speaking on the pros and cons of virtual reality. It's pretty much the same, but just a bit different. Pros, completely immersed and engaged in the virtual world. Realistic training simulations, like I said previously, in fields like the medical field or aviation, or even sometimes in the military, you do use a lot of AR and VR. Like in VR, speaking of the medical field, you use it in surgery, like you see close up of the surgery being performed to reduce mistakes. And entertainment, obviously, use VR a lot in entertainment, gaming, movies, and theme parks. Next, remote work and collaborations create virtual meeting rooms. You get to engage with teammates so much better. Although you guys are in a far distance, you still can communicate in an easy way. Next, education and research, explore history, science, or space virtually. Cons, expensive setup. Obviously, it's much more complex compared to AR. Physical hazards, you're completely immersed in a whole different world. So yeah, the risk is higher. Content development, creating VR content is time consuming and it's more complex. Social isolation, completely submerged in an entirely different world. Obviously, it affects in such a way. Next. To conclude everything that I have mentioned earlier, obviously, as we can see, AR and VR offers tremendous benefits to us from development-wise and our daily life. So keeping a balance is important to use it in an efficient way. That's all for me. Thank you.